And Auckland Zoo has welcomed 5 new otter pups to its resident population. They're collectively dubbed a raft because of the way otters bunch together in the sea. The pups have just had their first weigh-in after being born 4 weeks ago. They're not quite water ready yet because their fur isn't waterproof, but they are looking especially cute, with one keeper describing them as fluffy sausages. Lauren Booth is the team leader of Carnivores at Auckland Zoo. She spoke to reporter Nita Blake-Persen about the new additions.
Well, we've had 5 lovely little otter pups born into our lovely troop of otters here at the zoo, or I should say raft of otters, which is one of the collective nouns. They're, I suppose, just over a handful, so you might have seen on the pictures on our Facebook page that, to hold one of them, a keeper does use, 2 hands. They're between 300 and 400 grams, so I guess you're looking at a bit smaller than a block of butter is a good, I suppose, comparison. But they're a very kind of light grey, fluffy sausage. So we already have Takumi and Kanan. So Takumi is mum and Kanan is dad. And then they also have 6 siblings from 2 previous litters.
So this is a big otter whānau now.
Yes, yeah, really big. Asian small-clawed otters are actually one of the most social otter species and can be found in families of up to 15 individuals. So we now have a lucky number 13. So yeah, it's going to be pretty busy.
Very. And how do the family dynamics work? Are the other siblings hanging out with their new arrivals, or is everyone separated?
So yeah, with Asian small-clawed otters, everyone chips in. So Dad does a lot of the heavy lifting to begin with. He'll be taking mum food, and of course Mum's doing the hard work, actually feeding and raising the young, but Dad's running around looking after the older ones and making sure Mum's okay, and he'll also take on babysitting duty. So he does get run a bit ragged. Takumi, our female, is very good at making sure she gets a break. I would say that now for nothing. And then the other older pups, I say older pups, but they're all almost a year old now and or more. And they're all taking turns doing babysitting as well.
And so are the new pups able to do much for themselves, or are they pretty dependent on everyone else?
Oh, completely dependent on everybody else. So Mum and Dad are still moving them between the different nesting areas, pretty much saying, this one's dirty now, guys, if you could clean that for me. And that's when we pop in and have a clean. And then once it's clean, they'll move them back. So they have to move them. They're still toileting them. So Mum will be doing that after she feeds them. Their eyes aren't open yet. So all they're really doing is being carried around if Mum needs to move them to a cleaner spot to give us a chance to get in there and sort things out for her, or eating and sleeping.
Have there been any names suggested for these new guys?
Not yet. We're yet to sex them. So what we'll do is they have vaccinations when they're 9 weeks old and then again at 12 weeks old. So we'll confirm sexes then, just when they're a bit bigger. They're just, easier to sex when they're bigger. And then once we've got those, how many boys and how many girls, we'll be looking into names.
What's the plan for these guys? Will they all stay in Auckland?
So no, they won't be staying in Auckland. 13 is a very, very large group. And so we will be looking at cleaving off a single-sex group for another institution within Australasia.
And that was Auckland Zoo's Lauren Booth speaking to Nita Blake-Persen.